The other day, I was invited by Secretary Harry Roque to go on his show, which is one of these public service shows that he does weekly. And by coincidence, this show was shot or taped in Malacañang Palace. So he was doing another interview. So in the meantime, I was able to walk around and look what the old palace looks like now. Like the palace has always been, many of the rooms have been repurposed. It's no longer used in the same way. But then it's always been that way. The rooms always changed their functions as time went on, and according to need and according to availability. But it touches you in a certain spot because this is where you spent your childhood. And the little corners all have memories too. Every little place means something because this happened there. I fell over there. This is where I fought with my sister. This is where we made up, and that sort of thing. Opisina ito dati. Nung ginagawa yung palasyo, dito nag-opisina yung father ko eh. Ito, hindi ito conference hall noon. Ibang ginawa dito. It's nice to bring back those childhood memories when time. I remember once my mother was singing and we had guests and they were saying, "My gosh, Madam First Lady, you're such a romantic, not like your husband." And my father was sort of taken aback and said, No, quite the contrary. If there is no romance, there is no courage. And that's the way he thought. The soft side was what motivated him to do all of these hard things. And of course, when it's work, it's the hard things, the tough things that he had to do. And that's what people see. But that derives, or the root of the passion, of the determination to do something good, comes from love. I mean, comes from dedication, comes from sense of duty and nationalism. What we hear right now, especially with the dominant voices right now, were in opposition to him, is more of a caricature of somebody that they would like for people to believe. I knew the man. He was the president, but he was also my father. And he really was my friend. Ano yan?
Play niya yung announcement ng Marshall.
First of all, the portrayal of him by his opposition, especially the demonization of my dad. That's just, if you knew him and you've seen the way he works and the things he does and the things that he worries about, it just doesn't have any connection to what he really was as a man. That's why it's easy for us to just look at these detractors and say, yeah, I guess that's what you want us to believe, but that's simply not the case. this idea or this feeling or this, shall we say, opinion I have of my father, of the man, has just been strengthened as time goes on. You'd think when you grow up, you say, well, I was a kid, siguro kala hindi ko naintindihan what was really going on. But the more I see, the more I learn, the wiser, hopefully, I'm getting. I can see that that's really the way he was. That's really the person he was, and that he meant it. This wasn't propaganda for him. The things that he said were not. He meant it. That was really what he was trying to do. There's propaganda and there's the truth. Marami tayong kasabihan, bilog ang mundo, the pendulum will always swing back, all of these things. But I think it really derives from the fact that, whereas other people will say that this is what we believe, this is what we would like to do, they haven't really backed it up. Whereas when he said, I'm going to build a nation, he did. He built the nation. He did all of these things that never mind the systems or the political thinking that he tried to espouse and to endorse and to put into our system. Beyond that, just the physical evidence of all the work that he did to build this country up. He has that. Nobody else does. And that's why. It serves to look at it as objectively as possible and recognize there's propaganda in all political rhetoric. I mean, that's just part of it. So we try to get beyond that and try to see what actually happened. We are still in a situation where there are very, very, very many people who were around in the time of my father's administration, and ask them, what was it like? How were you treated? Did life improve? Did it get worse? Did people care? Did they not care? I always say, don't listen to me. I'm his son. Of course I'll defend him. Of course I'll say he did the right thing. But look at the record. Look at actual. If you cannot go through all the rhetoric, all the opinion, all of the academic analyses, just look at the record in quantitative terms. What did he actually do? How did life improve? What were things how many schools did he build? How many institutions did he strengthen? All of those things. I mean, there are objective tests to the success of a government, of an administration. Use those objective tests. I encourage them. Use those objective tests on his administration, and we'll see how he does. And I think he will account for himself very, very well. The saying, the quotation keeps coming back to me. You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. And that's where we are. We know that eventually, once the dominant partisan politics has been slowly shown for what it is by President Duterte. So they no longer have the monopoly on the narrative. And we are now, everyone else is allowed to say what they truly believe, what they experience, and what they think. Since my father's time, is the first person to say, like the child in the story, the emperor has no clothes. It was my father's fervent wish that when he came to the end of his days, that he be buried in a simple soldier's ceremony. We have waited 27 years to fulfill that wish that he left us with. We thank President Rodrigo Duterte for his recognition of my father's service to the nation. Before we, especially on a big national campaign, you take surveys and you try and find out what's the, where am I strong, where am I weak, what issues are important, that sort of thing. That's the usual sort of thing. And they're saying that, if don't take such a hard line about your dad, and just stay away from your dad, and just because that immediately brings you into other territory where there's a built-in opposition, and the number was that you would easily get 30%. Then I said, I simply can't do that. I said, why? Because if I sort of denied him, it's denying me, because I'm a product of him. I just don't see how it could be done. I mean, to pretend, no, I'm not part of any of it. Of course I'm part of that. I'm his son. I'm the same name. I'm running on the same policies, on the same issues. My public life is being directed and motivated by him. So it's just not doable. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to run around pretending I'm somebody that I'm not. That would be the height of falsehood, and I don't want to indulge in that.
Kasi, bale, both parents are very active in politics. Do you think that is what has led you to go into this kind of life?
Oh, hindi mo maiiwasan. There is no way. The only way you can explain my having entered politics is definitely because of how my father really that he even said it in his when he was still alive, that he would say, I have committed not only myself to the work that I have done. I have not committed only my person, but my wife and my family too. And the time will come when you will find that you have no choice. Not to enter politics, but perhaps in the positions, in the kind of causes that we would champion. So, matagal na talagang alam na namin na kahit papano, yung ginawa ng aming ama will affect us for the rest of our lives, in whatever fashion. So, and it's turning out to be true, because how can something that dominant be suddenly just go away? So kahit na ngayon ilang taon na ito, we're still feeling the effects of what my father did, and I have no doubt to the day I die I will be feeling those effects.
I try to think sometimes. I do think of this, and I say, what would my dad, if he was there looking down, what's he saying? I think he'd be laughing. Honestly, because, and I sometimes, when I'm going through, when things are tough, and it's like, oh God, how do I do this? What am I going to do? I can almost hear his what? Oh, mahirap ano? Mahirap ano? Sige, kaya mo yan, pero mahirap ano? And I can almost hear him saying that. So I think that would be his attitude. He has confidence that you can do it, but he's sort of entertained that, you didn't think it was going to be this hard, did you?